everyone, it's Keely here for Soy and Shea. Thank you so much for joining me for today's soap making video where we're going to create a soap using some of the things which are in the Pimp My Soap creativity box. Now this particular box is the January one. It is still available for sale on the website and it is until it's actually sold out. Because we're always working ahead of time with events, I have themed these boxes so that they are ahead of time, and this particular box is filled with goodies to do St. Patrick's Day or Irish themed soaps. But there are also a couple of items in here which can be used for other events such as Halloween as well. Let's go and check out what's in here and then I'll show you what I'm going to make. So when you open up the creativity boxes, there is usually a message up here, and in those messages are occasionally discount codes. The December box had a discount code for Wickedly Goods and the sprinkle sheets that she has released, and for the January box there was a discount code for Pimp My Soap in it. And then once we open it up, this is what was in our January box. We have some licorice soap dough. There is the newly released gold soap dough. We also have some emerald soap dough because you always think of emerald when we think of Ireland. And then there is a limited edition one called Shamrock in there as well. It's only been made for this this box. There is also a pot of our Midas Touch Gold Biodegradable Sparkle. And then we've got two exclusive items which have come from Off Wickedly Goods. And these are little I keep calling them cookie cutters, but they've actually been specifically made for cutting things like clay, and we're going to cut soap dough with them as well. So we've got a little 4-leaf clover and a little cauldron pot. Now this is the one that we can use for both St. Patrick's Day and also for Halloween. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make an embed to make a St. Patrick's Day soap with. Let's go. So I'm going to start with the single bar cutter here, and I'm going to set it so that it's about 5mm from off my wire. So to do that, I'm just going to lay my ruler on my cutter. I'm going to bring my wire down to that 5mm and then just bump up my little rest there. So we've got a nice little 5mm slot. Now let's pretend this is a beautiful brand new piece of the licorice soap dough and it's lovely and rectangular. This one's a little bit mushed up because I've been using it, but you can do this even if you've got a nice new piece of soap dough. So what I'm going to do, you can see I've already been playing on here. I'm just going to butt the end of my soap dough up to my thing as you would cutting soap, and I'm going to slice off just a very thin narrow piece like so. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is going to get a piece of my film here that it was wrapped up in, and I'm just going to fold it over so it's in between those two layers. Now I do this so that the soap doesn't stick to the cutter. These are good enough that you can actually stamp without them, but it's just force of habit to do it this way. I'm going to line my little cookie cutter up over it, making sure that my soap dough is all the way through, push down and pull it back up, and then what we should be able to do is we pull that apart. That little cauldron has now popped out. So I have got enough on this that I should be able to cut out 2 pieces. So let's do the second one. And then any of this sort of excess soap dough, I'm just going to ball up and put to one side so I can use for other sort of projects that I've got going. So we're just going to put all that together just to show you as well. You don't have to put it between the film. I do find it better. It's less likely to stick, less likely to tear. So you can put that one down on there. Actually, we'll go this way. I'm going to push through, pull off the excess, and then just with my finger on the inside, I'm just going to gently push it out. So you can do it. I just find it easier, quicker to put it between the film there. So now we're going to make some little gold coins to go on the top of our cauldrons. Okay, so to create some little coins for them, I have got the gold soap dough that was included in there, just broken off a piece, just getting it all nicely warmed up and nicely pliable. Then all I'm going to do is just break off tiny little amounts, going to roll it into a ball and then kind of squish it down to make it look like a coin, and then I'm just going to start to slowly pile them up on top of my little cauldron here, and I'm going to do them in sort of like different, so they kind of spill over the edges and sit on top of each other and that sort of thing. You'll see what I mean as we get going here. So again, just rolling a little ball, squishing it flat so it will look like a coin. This one's will kind of tip it over the edge like so. Okay, so there is my little pot of gold. Now just to finish it off and just give a little bit more definition, I'm just going to grab my Extravagance Gold Mica, just going to give it a very little squirt just on the top, just so that those coins get that little bit of shine and shimmer. So there is the little pot of gold, all nice and shiny. I've got another 17 of these to make up, and then I'm also going to cut myself some little 4-leaf clovers to go onto the top of this soap. Now to do that, I'm going to use that shamrock one. I don't think I need them as thick as that one, so what I'm going to do is just break myself off a piece of this one, give it a bit of a condition, and then I'm going to roll it out flat between some of the biodegradable film, and then I'm going to cut my little shamrocks out. Okay, so that has now been rolled out, so it is quite thin, and what I'm going to do is just put my film back over the top. Because this one is so much smaller, you definitely need that film just to help you pull these out. Just going to randomly stamp my little clover leaf. Once we've done that, we can pull this back, and then we can take them out from the rest of that soap dough. Oh, and there we have it, a little 4-leaf clover. So I'm going to get on to making all of these, and then we'll get on to making the soap. So I now have all of my embeds done. Love how these pots of gold have turned out. I also decided not only to make the shamrock coloured clover leaves, but also to use some of that emerald as well. We'll pop a couple of different colours on each of the bars there. We've got our oil and our live water down to temperature, and the fragrance I'm using today is a new one that Heirloom Body Care's put out called Clover Patch, and I just thought this was going to be perfect for this soap. It's got bergamot, mandarin, there's some orange in there, some raspberry, a little bit of lemon, and then it's got some aloe, jasmine, there's a bit of sandalwood, sweet musk, a bit of rose, and of course the clover, and it's got this beautiful earthy aroma. It's really, really nice. We'll see how it's going to soap today. The idea is I'm going to do a blue bottom on this soap, and then because pot of gold, rainbow kind of go together, I'm going to do like a rainbow drop across the top of this soap. So let's get to making. I'm going to make lots of washing up today. So this is going to need to sit for at least 10 minutes, I'd say, before I can put my embeds on here, because it is super fluid. Such a well-behaving fragrance oil. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, so this has been sitting for a while, firming up. Now, originally what I was going to do was stand up my little cauldrons or my little pots of gold in them, but I have now decided I want to lay them down. They are just wide enough that they're going to fit between each of my bars. So I've just got myself a steel ruler just to make sure I am between those lines. I'm just going to put a very, very slight mark on the top of my soap, because this is where the cut lines are going to go. It's really not going to affect it. So I'm just going to go all the way along. I don't know if the camera is going to see it. Sometimes I don't know until I go to edit. But there's just this tiny, tiny little ridge that I can see on here. I'm going to go all the way up. And the only reason I'm doing that is because they really are a very, very tight fit. So let's pop him on. He just fits between those lines. So I'm going to get all my little cauldrons on this side like so. I have got the shakes, and then what we're going to do is pop these little clover leaves just across the top. Oh, like so. Well, that one's going to go on upside down. I really do have the shakes here. We're going to do that one, and then when I do the next one, I've done them so I should be able to do alternate colors. Oh, like so. Alright, let me get these on. And then just to really finish it off, we're going to use some of that Midas Touch Bio Glitter that was in here. I really do wish I could photograph this better than what I have. It is such a stunning biodegradable glitter on here. I call them biodegradable sparkle online if anyone is looking for them. I'm just going to do these up, and I've actually blended these myself. So I've used various biodegradable glitters and I've created these blends myself. So they are one-off to Pimp My Soap. I'm just going to sprinkle all of our little gold stardust down here. And there it is. It is so bright and shiny. It really does look like out of those little pots of gold, we've got those clover leaves and gold sparkles shooting out the top of them. I'm going to leave it sit here, and then we'll be back in just a moment and we'll cut it open and we'll see what we've got on the inside. We are ready to cut into our pot of gold. I'm loving how this is looking so far. The blue has come up a gorgeous color. Can't wait to see all these rainbow drops. The smell is very earthy, and I kept getting whiffs of tea, which must be like the bergamot that's in here. Every time I walked by, I just got this real distinct smell of tea. It's nice, calming scent. Alright, we are all lined up. I'm just making sure I have got, we're going to bump it down actually and go from this end. I'm just lining my wires up with those markings that I had on my mold. That's the right way. Let's cut through and see what we've got on the inside. And great, we missed all those little pots. I'm going to pull that one off the end first. Grab this one. Oh, and look at that. I absolutely love how that has come up, all those rainbow colors. Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous, and I love that you can just see each and every single color and they haven't muddied together. You can see on this bar that the blue has dipped below the purple. Purple should be at the bottom, but this one is better. You can see the purple and then coming up through those rainbow colors. Absolutely love how this has come up, and it does smell really good. Love this fragrance. It behaved so well as too. I don't often use the heirloom body care fragrances, because they are actually quite expensive for putting in soap. They're not too bad for putting into lotions and stuff, but when it comes to soap, I do find them to be one of the more expensive fragrances, and I don't think they perform any better than some of the other places that are out there. But I couldn't find anyone else that had a clover fragrance, so that's why I went ahead and treated myself to this one, and absolutely love how it has come up with all those rainbow drops. There is another one there. So I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me as I use the Pimp My Soap creativity box from January. If you're here in Australia and you're interested in getting your hands on that creativity box, they are still available online. They're there until they're sold out, and you get those little fondant cutters and some soap dough and the glitter in there, or the bio sparkle in there too. So I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below, and until the next video comes out, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you then. Bye.